What is... Ready or not. We live. This will be like 15, 20 minutes. Yo, yo, yo. Just give me 1 second. Dun, 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 dun. Okay, so we're going to go over why we lost today on that spread, which did turn out to be 100% profitable as the day closes here. But I'm going to explain all of that in just a second here. Okay. So again, if you guys have any questions, again, feel free to ask. We're going to be going over our spread today. Let's pull up NDX. Okay, so NDX. This is the funny part. We had a put credit spread. Let me pull up my account, or not my account. I don't like to do that. But let me pull up this. Okay, so we had a put credit spread today. That did lose. We sold it under the 200%. I probably should have held it. Well, I guess I probably should. You could always say you probably should have, you could have, you would have. We lost on this trade. We were breaking down. Well, okay. First of all, let's explain this. We got an entry actually here. We literally got the bottom of this bounce. Then we got an acceleration when Oracle news came out, which dropped the market over 100 in like 30 points in a matter of a minute or two. From there, you could see we started to basically curl. Now, here's the sad part. I talked about on NQ, if we got under 130, before I drew this, if we got under 130, I look for a close of my trade. Now, 135, sorry. Now, we did get under the 135. I closed it, and usually I like to wait for candle closes. In this case, if I waited for the candle close, we would actually stood on this trade and ended the day 100% profitable. Now, again, mistakes happen, things happen. We were near that 200% stop loss. As you can see here, I got a fill at 301. At one point, this contract was 360, so it was just over that 200%. So, again, it's all about risk management. I mean, I'm not really worried about a loss like this. I know what I'm doing when I'm going into a trade. And obviously, as you can see, that trade could easily be made back and more really quickly. I did want to add more to this, our 700 sold put on NDX. Just didn't really get the entry, the ads that I wanted. So I just kept the position that I had originally. So down 3,100 ish for the day there. And that was our first loss since 11/20, which is over just about 3 weeks now. So again, it happens. That's exactly what is. You're gonna win. In this case, on this one, we're winning basically 85% of the time, $5,000 to $90,000 in a year. Over 1,700% gains. For the month of December, we are up 11K. Oh, we're up 9K. Okay, so we were up, like 12K, and now we're just under the 10,000. Still think December will be our best month, beating November. Let's see. Nope, wrong thing. What's funny is right after we sold our put credit spreads, I actually went long, and you could see why I did this here. You started to see I made this curling after that. We have a 3-minute inverted hammer. We have a 3-minute basically spinning top right after that with a long wick right into the 135, funny enough. And you can see we're starting to curl, which is the first time you see that all day. Here we just have a little V. Here we just have a little V. Here we just have a little V. Now you're starting to see, okay, the sellers are really not getting this. We actually have a higher low here. And you can see the price action slowing down. The EMAs are getting tighter, and they're starting to turn. And we're actually starting to curl for once. And you can see right after that, we had calls that went over 30% really nicely. I did 2 days out calls. I don't really like to do same day expiration. I just like to be safe, and made some money on that. So, again, you're going to lose on trades. It's all about risk management. I stick to that 200% stop. In this case, we did get a close under it. Under the 153, we got a better fill, 153%. Got a better fill. But at one point, this was over that 200%. So it's more so a safety thing. You just move back. You go back to the next trade. You go on to the next trade. Dumb question. Why should I consider spreads over normal calls and puts? I still have to consider if something goes up or down. You're 100% right. That is a great, I guess you could say fact. I don't know. But yeah, you're right. Now, with spreads, let's say, for example, okay, for calls and puts, you need a move like this to make money. You need moves where it has to go in your direction. For spreads, you don't need that. It could chop, it could go against you, it could go obviously the way you want it to, and you could still end the day 100% profitable. Now, let's just say, for example, this. Obviously, you wouldn't do this, but let's just say you bought calls here, okay? And, you didn't sell them here, and you're like, okay, whatever. It's the end of the day now, and they're here. You would be dead. Yeah, well, you would be dead on that trade. You buy calls here, and it goes up here with the volatility, and it drops to here, you would probably be losing or break even. So spreads more so is you don't need a true directional move. It's very high probability trading with lower profits, but it's a compounding strategy. And that's what the difference between spreads and regular calls and puts are. What's your entry criteria for spreads? And do you usually do zero day DTE? Yes, I do zero DTE personally. And then my entry criteria is, so for an example, actually 2 days in a row now, the market on Thursday, yesterday, the market got down over 1%. I did put spreads because statistically, the market closing down 2% is under 6% of the time. The market closing down under 3%, down 3% is under 2% of the time. So I'm already in the favor where I'm looking for a dip to obviously get myself more in favor of that statistic, as I did today as well, by the way, and I'll explain that trade in a second. Um, and I'm buying put spreads because I want the market to stay above a certain area, and I'm able to get at that time yesterday and today, I'm able to get 3% plus out of the money on my trade. Now you could see yesterday's we did Qs. It wasn't that fruitful, but we did make over $700, 750 to be exact, which is really nice. Obviously, there's some dollars in here that aren't relating to the brokerage. So that's one thing. I got a put spread here because we were down 1.3% on the market. And why I got the put spread here is because we were coming into a level, we already dropped 200 plus points. Again, at 1.3%, I could go pretty far out and be able to get a put spread and usually, be safe. I don't want to, in this case, let's put it this way. Okay. I personally don't like to do it this way. Let's say we're dropping, okay? On this bounce, I get a call spread. Now, in this case, it could have worked. But when you're down 1.2% on the market and you're getting a call spread, the risk is kind of against you in a way because, let's just say, this curled. We could have continued straight up, and we've seen that happen over and over again. So I like to play the put side when we're dropping. I like to play the call side when we're rising. Kind of that mean reversion is what I'm getting at. Yes, this is true. Honestly, for spreads, I say it could be really higher. I usually hit 85 to 88% of the time. And that's because I sell usually 12 to 7 deltas on NDX and or QQQ. You decided. So it was getting to that 200%. Oh, well, again, at one point, Jeff, this actually was over 200% stop loss. And based on the price action, it looked like we were going lower. And I literally got wicked out. The next candle, if I held literally 5 minutes, would have been 100% profit. And again, that happens. I'm not mad at all. I'm not upset. I lost $3,000, $3,500, and that's it. I move on to the next trade. I know I can make it back. I mean, look at this. Look at the statistics here. There's consistency. Yes, you're going to lose. Yes, you're going to, just stay consistent with that risk management and that strategy. Which ticker do I play the most? QQQ and NDX. Honestly, you could see here I trade NDX a lot more, but QQQ as well. And NDX, the reason why I do NDX is because it's cash close. So 4 p.m. usually, especially if you're under 25K, doesn't do a day trade. In this case, I'm well over the 25K. I'm just saying in general for those that are under 25K. I know a lot of people have been DMing me, so I will bring it up again. You could copy my spreads. It literally goes right into your broker when I enter a spread. Peakbot has been around for 5 years now, 4 years now. I've had no issues with them ever since they incorporated. You can literally copy my spreads exactly. Once I execute a trade, it executes right into your brokerage. And there is literally like no slippage at all. It is extremely minimal. So if you ever wanted interested in that, just DM me. Trying to see what else. Why do I do SPX? Why not SPX? And why do I do NDX? I just trade NDX. I just trade NQ and QQQ a lot. I just know, everything about it more so. Not that it's saying that I don't trade SPY or don't trade SPX. It's just I follow NDX, NQ, QQQ way more. You were down percent-wise on Peakbot more than you were today. Can you tell me what it was and what it sold you at? On Peakbot, I know I got a fill at 324. Is that where you filled? I got to fill at 324. Do you find spreads harder to fill in NDX than SPX? Honestly, I've been trading NDX. What I do specifically, like for example, on my sell today to get out, I put it above the mid price. When I am trying to get into a spread, I'm putting it 5 cents below the mid price. So yeah, I mean, exactly. I'm trying to, play to that advantage that is basically like a market fill almost. So no, I really do not have any hard times filling. Is my Google Sheet tracker available? Yes, I could send that. And yes, same thing. So, like I said, on Tradier, I got filled at 324. So yes, I got filled at 324. So we have the same exit. It's just actually yours got filled 1 cent higher, which again, that is not bad slippage at all. 1 cent is amazing. What was your entry? Is the question. If you could share your entry, I'd love to know. Mine was 0.86 on this account. So actually, in terms, now that I'm looking at this, this was over 200% on Tradier. This is almost 300%, which I don't like. Which I don't like that I did personally. Sorry, I should have stated that. But overall, this account is very nice and up. Let me. Okay, so that trade is not in yet, but here's that automatic trading. 3,200 return, that's going to be down to 2,700 because we had a $500 loss today. Total return 64%, average monthly return is 30%, annualized return is 360. We have 39 wins and now 3 losses. That's going to be changed. Here is our calendar. You can see we just continue up. Obviously, going to have a little downturn. And then here's our trades. You can see the return on investment as we continue to climb, the cumulative P&L, profit and loss by the day, and all the trades. 2 at 8 and 2 at 1. Oh, okay. You're double, I'm guessing, right, JJ? Are you double? Is that why it's 2 units? I was wondering why. That would make sense if so. Oh, I'm stupid. We were at the 200%. I forgot that I actually did add. You're correct. So my first entry was 0.86 because Tradier, I hate their orders and stuff. So Tradier shows 2 out of 2. I was thinking I got 2 contracts. No, I got 2 contracts in total, but I have 1 contract for that at 0.86, and then 1 contract. Wow, you got filled at 1? Oh, you're seeing the same thing that I'm seeing. It shows that 2 out of 2, right? That 2/2. Yeah, it's only 1 contract. Yes. I don't know why they put the 2/2. That's stupid. But that fill at 1 is actually not good. I have not seen it be that bad. I mean, that was more so the volatility at that time. I'm gonna take a guess. But yes, actually my average on this was around that 119. So yes, I was actually under my 200% stop loss. So I am actually happier now that I look at this for that. Okay, let me go back to the question. Sorry. Where can I get that spreadsheet? I will send that spreadsheet in a second. You regarding this one, the one that's tracking my automation? Is that the one that you're talking about? I know that Billionaire Boy was talking about the other one. How wide do I go when I'm doing my spreads? So I'm doing 20 wide on NDX, which means I need $2,000 per contract to open it personally. I just felt like that's been a great area something that I've added. Usually when I'm doing Qs, I'm doing 3 or 5 wide. And again, I could go that further out. I could get my 88% plus probability of profit and, be happy with that. Do I have a target when the premium's received? If it's quick, like today, 75%. So in this case, this one was very quick. I got into this and within 10 minutes, I closed it because it was 75%. Or in this case, we got to fill for 89%. But yes. When you look at the JJ, look at the right where under the filled where it shows the 2/2 at. What's that number next to it? The dollar number right there. No, that's actually incorrect. So the fill at 1 would be worse. So if I got a fill at 150 for a credit, a fill at 1 is actually low. Well, it's lower than that, but I'm trying to think of the percentage. It's like 33% lower than that. Because at $1.50, I am making $150. At $1, you're making $100. So the fill at 1 is not as good. Okay. Yes, I see. Okay. Okay. So that makes me feel a little bit better. During that volatility, there was a little slippage there on the enter strike for the 125, but it's still not that bad. The fuck was that? I saw something like go across my eyes. For entries, are you comparing the gap down against the previous day market close on NDX? No, so I do look at previous days. Data, our lows, our highs, stuff like that, our openings, our closings. But I'm focused on that day, and then I start to look back before I take my entry. Yeah, yes, I filled that 150, yes. For my second ad. And then we closed at 324. So it was under 200% stop loss. Which again, this trade could easily be moving back in 2 days, if not, 3 at most. 2 trades, I mean, if not 3 at most. Yeah, so this is going to be updated very soon. So this number is going to go up a little bit, a wee bit. And then we had our first loss on that new 4,500 spread challenge that we talked about. 93% win rate, 14 trades, 13 won, 1 loss. We are up $1,139 since we started that at 4,500. And today's loss is around that 500 as well. And again, that's perfectly fine. We are obviously beating December. We started November really late though, but again, also under 200%. But we will come back strong. We will come back strong. Yeah, 100%. Looking at the expected move is a big thing to obviously see where the market could or they're expecting the market to move. 100%. By the way, what's up, Naruto? I love you. You're the GOAT. Sorry, dude, if you already said this. What is it just of how and when you execute? Sorry. I'm still a little sick. It's just a cough now. Hold on a second. Okay, sorry about that. I was just answering someone's question. So what is the gist of how and when I execute? So an example like today is I'm looking for mean reversion trades. Okay. We're down 1.3% of the market, at least in this case today. Entered this trade. Okay. I entered right here. Oops. Oh, my computer slowed me down. Thank God I'm getting a new computer. Thank God I'm getting a new computer, baby. Gonna have none of these issues. Okay, I entered right here on my put spread. Sadly, so I had a really great entry. Sadly, the Oracle news came out and we dropped 150 points in under 5 minutes. Um, so obviously, right then and there, made me have a drawdown really quick because, really quick volatile move. And then, so I'm looking for, I'm getting out of hand there. I'm looking for mean reversion trade. So we're down 1.3%, statistically in that favor. Being closing down 2% is under 6% of the time, or 7% of the time. Closing under 3% is under 2% of the time. So I'm looking for a mean reversion trade. I'm able to go far out of the money and beat out that 3% plus, to kind of give me that statistical advantage. Again, I'm looking for probability of profit contracts on the sold side of 88% plus. So I'm selling a 12 or less delta to do that. And that's basically that. I'm also looking, so other than days like today where it's, ugly like this, let's go to another day. Okay. Days where we're chopping. Okay. Now, intraday, I'm looking at the trend and seeing, okay, are we holding supports? Are we just rejecting highs? And then I'm going to sell puts or calls, obviously, depending on the trend there. But when we're looking at the data like this, where we're down, 1.3% when I entered that, I'm going in favor of a mean reversion and buying put side spreads. And again, like I said, today would have won. I mean, we never broke that 130. We were still, so I sold the 900 put. Our low of the day was 106. So we were 206 points out. Could that have happened? 100%. That's where the risk management comes in, but it happens. Now, funny enough, we were down here and I sold 700 puts. So that's another 400 puts down. That would be like a 3.5, 3.7% move. Yep, 100%. 100%. Does anyone else have any questions? Is anyone interested in the copy trading? If you have any questions on that. Again, if you have any questions for anything, always DM me on X, always DM me on Discord. Also, you can, I will send that. You guys interested in, hold on one second. Here, I think you guys said you want that spreadsheet, and then I'll send you this spreadsheet. I don't know how to clear this spreadsheet. So if you guys know how to do that, you could do that, but you could have the spreadsheets so you could use them and look at them. Yes, my spread trades I post every single spread trade, my reasoning, stuff like that, in my Discord. So if you're interested in that, you could check up above bulltradefinder.net, use the code BTF to sign up. What's the difference between the spreads copy account versus Tradier and Alertsify? Okay, so Alertsify doesn't have spreads for their copying. Peakbot does. I've been partnered with Peakbot for over 4 years with spreads. And you could copy all my spreads. Every single time I execute, it goes right into your account. I can't see the link to the Google Sheet template. Okay. Can you DM me on X? I see you're typing from X. Can you DM me on X? And I could send you that. Just so I don't have to go and find your name, please. And I'll send you all that. Thank you. I appreciate that. Yeah, you're not seeing the YouTube comments. That's why. Yeah. Please do send me a DM and I'll get you that. Yeah, no, appreciate it, Nomad. Yeah, this is only a well, it is 30-minute video. Appreciate it. Yeah, if you guys if again, any questions, let me know. I'm gonna end it here. I hope you all have a great weekend. Hopefully you had a great week of trading. Hopefully you had a great Friday of trading, to keep that mind going nice and good going into the weekend. I will catch you all later. Have a great weekend. Let's kick some ass next week.